For those of you on YouTube, hello and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 15 Semifinals. Monkey Kings of New York versus Riki Blinders. In the first game, White Joel Birch went 0-5-0 in lane phase, and then went like 1,000,000-5 and 1,000,000 at the end of the game. See what happens this time. The answer is the same dance for the most part.
Not banning IO? Come on.
Yeah, they're gonna have to think about it. It's a cursed situation, especially with Riki Blinders getting first pick here. Because if you ban out the IO, then you still have the clock to deal with, and they're gonna eat the clock. They're willing to eat the clock here. And that clock can be just as bad.
I feel like it's less. So just based on how clock is as a hero, here it is.
On one hand, you could say that. On the other hand, every time Copeless has been clockwork, he's been like 6-0 in lane phase. So like, he's just been 6-0 in lane phase and just randomly 1v1 cores through the whole game. It's pretty much an equally unappetizing, unappealing thing to be facing in this game, I think, unless you've got something really interesting in line to deal with it. You know, like a Timbersaw, like a Pit Lord. Not a Mirana so much, though that is somebody who's going to struggle to kill a little bit. Can arrow into the cogs and make things a little nasty, but it's about the length of the response you get.
10 seconds remaining.
Can at least get 4-staff and just 4-staff people out of the cogs, or even 4-staff clock out of the cogs if you're creative. Which is an equally efficient solution in a lot of cases. This team is such a pain to ban against. It's like, you have two Copeless heroes that feel like you just gotta get rid of them. Like, no matter what you do, it feels like you gotta get rid of the clock. You also kind of want to get rid of the Winter Wyvern, but also the Lich. And then, that's 4 bans that you really want to levy on the support line, or else you're going to be in a world of hurt. And then, what are you going to do about the core lineup? Carp's been playing like a different hero, basically, every game. What the hell are you going to do against that? Got the Jakiro. Jakiro's a good answer to the clockwork. You can just macropire the gears and just make things kind of miserable for him. That's also a Molsky specialty, so that's a win-win there.
10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Okay, we're doing this. Pause 1.
Hollywood, oh, I can only hope. Hollywood says that the real story for Kenny Lavender is not that he's on a ski trip, but rather that he left his team for a cocaine-filled weekend in Aspen.
Well,
I don't know if that's true. Ban out of the Clinks here. It's probably for the best. Not really a hero you want to face as a bad, and he's not very compatible with your ult, to say the least. There goes a Spectre. Ben is somebody who, beyond what he brings to the table in any case, is going to be able to be very helpful to a clockwork stuck in the gear jail. You know, you just put the aphotic shield on him, and now the clockwork is even harder to get rid of.
As a doctor, I can vouch that cocaine is a great way to cure your consumption.
5 seconds remaining.
What year is it?
That's a good question.
Is it 1889 in here or what?
Sure is.
Very narrow time period, in which case that was an accepted thing.
Dire team ban.
Wyvern, Spectre, the Dusty Visage. It's gonna be funny if it's like not a pause one a bad. It's like if it's Dusty a bad and they just wasted. I mean, they're wasting some bans no matter what because they got rid of the Visage and they got rid of the Spectre. Just
yeah, they're
rolling for both.
They're doing their bets, yeah.
Pit Lord ban. It's probably not a bad idea in general. It's very hard to imagine a particularly bad game for Pit Lord. And having a bad and pause one is not going to be an inspiring game.
That's about it.
It's like Monkey King and like Lifestealer. It's pretty bad for him as well, and that's about it. Because you build a lot of strength items, you build red flavored items, and he just doesn't care about your passive or anything you do when he hits Q, so.
Oh, Ursa.
10
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
it's
one.
also that.
remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
By the way, if you notice frame drops like that, it's because I'm checking chat. So apologies for that. That just happens in the modern Dota replay client when you tab in and out for some reason.
Dire team pick.
Face the light.
Gonna bring up a Dawnbreaker here. They want to go for the Mondo region strat this time. It's gonna be able to, on one hand, that's a really great way to displace Clockwork. It's also an okay way to reset the fight when a bad ults, but the problem is you're healing him too, usually doing that. Only downside is that you've just picked, you've really kind of picked two heroes to counter the one Clockwork, which isn't a great scenario. I mean, the Copeless Clockwork is really baller, but that does not help your standing to counterpick twice for a pause 4.
10 seconds remaining.
Which is gonna get through here. So far, they don't really have any, like, ability to make the Lich ult do anything. Which may change.
They have a clock.
Yeah, but I mean, how often really are you gonna see Gears get more than one guy? Not that frequently. It's not gonna be an
It's
everyday
topless.
thing.
You can't really
Yeah. There you go.
count it out. It's 5-man gears or something.
I don't think you want to do 5-man Gears. I think they'll just break instantly and are pointless. Gonna bring in the Zeus. This time
I'm not sure it's possible to do 5-man gears. It might not be physically possible.
Well, Zeus is going to be a pretty solid answer for the Dawnbreaker. You know, later on in the game, you just
10 seconds
hit R
remaining.
and then drop the shard on top of her,
5
or
seconds
drop the
remaining.
Ags rather, on top of her head, and she just can't go anywhere.
Dire team ban.
Imba Spirit.
Imba Spirit. That's a good pick here. He doesn't really care about Zeus. He can really control his fight against a bad.
Radiant team
It's gonna
ban.
suck if he gets hookshot. If he gets hookshot, he's gonna die, but that's easier said than done. Frankly. No anti-mage.
If you have a remnant, he's okay. But if he doesn't, he dies.
Even if you have a remnant, I think this team has enough stun in it. Like, you know, you get put into the gear jail, Zeus starts dropping things on your head, Lich gazes at you and you're dead. In that time. Almost assuredly. Unless whoever the Riki Blinders pick as their last has no damage at all, which would be very surprising to say the least. MKNY says no axe. Yeah, that would be really obnoxious against this team, actually. It's a good ban.
I need to Dusty Abaddon and like a super hard carry less hero for Joel.
That's what I was thinking
5
too.
seconds
I
remaining.
I don't know if Joel is going to be the kind of guy who goes for this pause one of bad shenanigans. I mean, maybe. You can't count it out. I don't think it's a 0% chance, but I do think it is a better chance than not that it's going to be Dusty Abaddon.
It's like these heroes exist to enable like a late greedy one.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a super late game hero,
Lone Druid.
or like a jug or something.
10 seconds remaining.
Monkey Kings in New York almost has enough reserve time left over with this ban to hear that and counter it, but they're not going to do so.
I still think it's a pause 3 last pick.
Could be.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe it's Joel Abaddon.
Just going for a very fast game rather than a
10
very long
seconds
game.
remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Of course, I will say this. I don't think Abaddon outscales Ember Spirit. If they do not win relatively quickly, it is not going to be pretty. I don't think Abaddon outscales Ember Spirit, and we don't even know what their pause one is. And yeah, it is going to be pause one Abaddon.
Alrighty, here we go.
So it is going to be 30 minutes to win it for the Riki Blinders. If they do not finish things out really quickly, it is not going to be pretty for them.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Darkseer, in a way, can actually kind of enable them to go a little bit longer, just from being able to make clones of the cores who do scale. But, like, eventually you're not going to care that much about that. And it's not going to save you when you're all going to die in, like, a minute into a fight in the late game. MKNY actually has really a very free scenario, because, like, Ember's Beard alone means that if this goes more than, like, 40-50 minutes, they're already going to win. So they can either pick something early, pick something ungreedy and fast, that's going to be able to keep them on the board and absolutely make sure Ember gets there, or just go double down on their advantage and pick something going long. It's going to be rather hard for them to pick somebody who's outright incorrect here. But then, I think it's also going to be equally as hard to pick somebody who's just going to single-handedly tip the outcome of the match.
I am the Juggernaut. I actually might do that.
So they picked Juggernaut on the other team. Cool.
Yeah. Well, Abaddon is completely useless against Juggernaut. It is a really bad matchup for him. He can heal, he can go ding, and he can heal a lot from the ult, which means that if you're not a pause 1, then you can just soak up an Omni Slash, you can use your defensive skills to keep people out of his, keep people out of trouble with him. And that's all good. If you're a pause 1 Abaddon, you have to silence and kill people. Juggernaut can't be silenced because he can hit Q before you silence him, and Curse of Avernus does not go through magic immunity. He can just completely ignore you, eat your team, and these guys are not going to be able to do anything about him otherwise. This may be just a BlueJay 1v5 scenario, legitimately. It is a little hard to see the blinders coming out on top in this one unless something insane happens.
It's possible that they could just destroy lanes and win early, but
yeah, they
it's
could.
about the only way.
Well, the problem is, Darkseer is not a lane destroyer. Okay, Mirana slides across the ground. Even if you have the clockwork there, Darkseer is not really a lane destroyer per se. Maybe he can get some funny Ion Shell and Gear Jails type scenarios there, but again, Ion Shell and Gear Jail, what does Jug care? He spins. He takes no damage. Clock probably takes more damage at that point, you know? Yeah, just on the draft alone, definitely going to have to say I think the Monkey King's coming into this one with an advantage.
I think we can pretend that never happened.
I don't know if it's time to be talking trash, midget. It does not look good for you right now. Copeless is gonna bully the hell out of poor Molsky. Just knock off half his HP before anything even happens. Molsky's gonna turn around and try to go back for him here, but do a much smaller amount of damage in contrast. There's one unfortunate thing about Jakiro, it's that while he does have the ability to deal with clockwork in capacity of helping other people out of gear jail, for example, he has almost nothing at all to offer in terms of if he himself is going to be the one getting bullied into gear jail. All of the Jakiro animations are really long. If he gets caught in a battery assault, he's basically just going to either take a lot of damage or die, or both. Not mutually exclusive by any regard, and Peter beats Warcarp in the right-click rune contest. Warcarp almost beats him in the Eat and Arrow contest, but gets out of it at the last second. I like how they still have the little taunt that Heavenly Jump is based off of now. What do you think, Randy? What do you think about this whole scenario? Yeah.
I think if they destroy lanes, there's a possible win condition if they know it's tough.
I don't want to say 0% chance, but like, if Riki Blinders don't win all 3 of this lanes, I really genuinely don't know what they do here. They definitely wanted to do this. They actually specifically called for Dire in the coin toss, assuming that they were going to get first pick as a result, right? So they did very specifically want to take, I think, the first pick here and get a Baden, get this pause one a Baden. But I mean, if nothing else, he's gonna do great in this lane. He can't get rid of the ooh, mama. Nope, not today. They almost get first blood on Rage up here, but not quite. He's gonna do great in this lane. He can't get rid of the arrow with a Photic Shield, but these guys really do not do enough damage to him for him to care about like anything they do, and he has a reliable stun in his lane, which is always good for a Baden. He's gonna beat this lane and then do like nothing in the game. I think is most likely the outcome here, unless Juggernaut is really behind, basically. And even then, he's still gonna struggle at least a little against the Ember, I think. Like realistically, and even with the Dawnbreaker, it's like he's gonna do good against her in lane, but he's really not gonna even interact with her for the most part for the rest of the game. The pattern is either not good or bad outright into all 3 of the cores here, so Joel's game, almost to a degree, doesn't really matter, and nobody else on his team can carry.
Yeah, it's kind of foreboding a little bit. I trust in Joel. If there's anyone who can go fucking 20-0 on a carry event, it's Joel, you know?
Yeah, there you go. I definitely think I would have much preferred to see it in like a pause capacity here. Like it's gonna be kind of a crappy lane into the jug. No 2 ways about it, but if your job is to play defense, not offense for the most part, if it's to be a vanguard, be the threat of a silence to cause some chaos in those fights, you're a hell of a lot better than being the guy who causes the damage in the fights. Okay, goodbye, Joel. First blood for Rage. Should not have tower dove.
Bit unfortunate.
You can say that. And the newest thing in chat is still talking about Kenny Lavender doing cocaine. Joel, a bit of a fix again. Mighty Midget not in the lane right now. Not even really that close, but okay, he'll be fine. Ban Lich is going to be a dreadfully annoying lane in no uncertain terms, and they're going to take out the Jakiro here. I cannot foresee great things in the future for poor Jakiro in this lane, if nothing else.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Downside is that Jug still has the second most last hits in the server, and more last hits than anybody on the Riki Blinders, so that doesn't help.
Oh, is dead? He is dead. Apparently Joel's gonna go like 0-10 in lane today.
Yep.
What can you do?
It just has to. Everything just has to be bad. It's like I'm just sitting here, like, Carp's not doing that bad. Maybe Carp does something, and then I realized, oh wait a minute, their mid has inbuilt magic resist, and the jug is literally like one of the worst things to face as Zeus. So really
He
is
also
anything.
has zero denies as a mid.
Also true. And the Mighty Midget is going to take a spill, trying to find Rage in the trees up here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Bit of an awkward go on Joel under the tower here.
Call just runs down to hero.
Molsky just randomly dies a bot. It's going to happen off screen a lot because he's going to go 100 to 0 on this lane, I think. But again, the downside is it's going to be very little. They can't stop the jug in any way. Okay. It's missed kills in the opposite lane day is what it actually is.
Even I like a good bobble.
Hashtag 4midget.
I could do with more of that.
Dark Ace gonna get run down here, a kill that we barely see at the very end of it.
It's a nice one. Nice sinister gaze.
Yep. Alright, this is a really nasty lane combo. Abaddon with a stun is one thing, Abaddon with a silence, not a silence, Abaddon with a long stun is another, and Abaddon with a long stun and another slow on him as well is a lot of nasty stuff to deal with. They just fell for the trap of Abaddon politics there, but it doesn't matter, they're actually gonna get the double. Never mind, that's an awkward time for Joel to hit 6. Okay, maybe they're still gonna fall for the trap of Abaddon politics, yep.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They forgot about the aphotic shield there. He actually has another one.
Oh, Joel. Get him.
Oh my god.
What a god.
Okay, there we go.
Alrighty.
This is sort of what I expected looking at this lane.
So much for that.
That is good. He still only has as many kills as he has deaths, so. He's probably you're probably gonna win lane as bad and not just kind of equalize it out.
It's better lane than last game.
That's true, yeah, by a long measure. It's an infinitely better lane than last game. He has infinitely more kills than last time. Unfortunately, at this point, Carp is starting to get really decimated at mid. He's level 6 to PPM's level 8, and PPM's just about to try and tower dive for him here. Oh my god, the Remnant's so slow! What's wrong with it?
The Zeus E, I believe, is
Yeah.
the problem there.
Yeah, it's 250% the Ember Spirit's speed, and he just got super slow. So he runs like 1 mile per year. That's a funny little thing there. Rage once again, kind of deep. Okay, that was not the Dawnbreaker ult.
More Carp gets 2 kills in 2 different lanes. Very nice.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, brother!
Okay, so they're smashing lanes now.
Yeah, it started out... Well, they're smashing, one of the lanes. They're smashing top lane.
Oh, yeah,
They're still smashing Jakiro personally, but unfortunately they have done nothing to stop the server, who is top now with the server.
Good, Peter. Nice fear. Well placed remnants.
Yeah, he's just going back and forth here.
Oh, he has no mana.
Doesn't really
Rage!
matter.
What a Dawnbreaker play.
Comes Copeless. Make this awkward.
That's a party.
Oh no, they missed
Rage is
Rage!
alive.
Tower is under attack.
Quick flare into the trees randomly. There we go. Unfortunately, Abaddon is pretty screwed. Oh, yep. Abaddon is very screwed.
So awkward.
Yep. Oh, wow. Copeless is... Hulk just like didn't go out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And yeah.
Maybe it's a
Yeah, that's pretty much going to be this whole game, I think, is, I don't know how the hell you kill the Ember Spirit this game, ever, frankly.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He's not going to be easy to silence, he's not going to be easy to hookshot.
Might as well
It really is, you're just going to have to get him with Sinister Gaze from the trees, that's like the best you got. At least they're getting some good jungle items on Riki Blinders. You know, Broom Handle Abaddon is everything you could look for in a table, and more. Speaking of Abaddon, Sportline wants to come say hello, come meet the man who is most famous for killing support lines real easy, so I don't know what he's doing here. Yep. Just immediately, oh, goodbye to Kiro.
Most guys no lane in this game. It's kind of unfortunate.
Here's the downside, they also just randomly lost the Zeus and the, Lich. There's almost no hope of recompens.
How's my second chance? Reached an end? I admit, it's satisfying.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They haven't been able to kill Dusty. That's good. That's something. Abaddon is starting to climb back up the net worth charts. That's something.
Yeah. Only man who can flash storm and a hero that literally doesn't hit creeps.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I believe there might be somebody outside of my window, so we're going to get a very beautiful scenic look at top lane for a minute as I figure out what's going on.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Feel the chill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Is it a feed? Maybe it's a bait. He's gone.
Arms for the dead.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
The House Furnace will disown me for that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Apologies for that brief interruption there. Hopefully, everything interesting that happened at top while I was gone, or else that was a bad place for the camera.
We had a sick Dawnbreaker ult at bottom, so.
Damn it! Were you calling it at least?
No, of course not. Why would
Bro.
I call something that's not on
Dire's top
screen?
tower is under attack.
They teach you not to do that at the commentary school, you know?
Radiant's bottom tower has
It's messed
fallen.
up. Yeah, it's true. You're not supposed to call what you don't see. It's a very sensible rule in radio broadcast. Oh, shoutouts to Big Boy LaCroix who arrived in the midst of me having to walk out. Oh boy. I knew that was gonna... Somebody was gonna come in! Well, that was happening.
Dire's
This is looking like a scenario where Riki Blinders does not win this game. 16 minutes, they're down 2K as the early game only team.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Hey, you know, we get to go to 3, which, you know, it sucks when it's a non-live game, but hey, if it's a live game, I'm all for it. Joel just casually farming away here. Still actually doesn't have his radiance here. Oh, he's about to have it. He has the money for it. I don't think it's gonna change the equilibrium of the game that much. Maybe for a while. Because, you know, for a while, you know, Ember Spirit's not going to necessarily just get to dart around everywhere all the time freely. Juggernaut's not going to have 100% uptime. You know, there's going to be a part of the fight where Juggernaut's on foot just right-clicking people. It's going to really hurt him during that. I got another Philos down. It feels like it came out rather late,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
all things considered.
Ember strength now rekindled.
Good news, Ember Strength is now rekindled, everybody. So if you've got yourself your Amazon Kindle, there you go.
Yeah, perfect.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Astoundingly, the numbers actually went up when I was out earlier. I actually just refreshed at the end of that to see that there were more people in the chat than there were before, so that's what the audience truly wants to see. Still life.
A fitting bounty.
It's like those guys who leave YouTube comments on Let's Plays. They're like, "Why are you talking over the game?"
Yeah, there you go. Oof, Dawnbreaker kind of hammering, no pun intended, the clockwork there. Zeus Ult is gonna come in here to try and get something more done.
Man, that's a haste rune. It had a
Yeah.
haste rune.
Unfortunately for him, he had to turn around and not
Then
let his
a haste
game.
rune.
Yeah.
It's just a bad one. Okay, my bad.
No, it wasn't a haste room. It was the surge. It was.
Yeah, yeah, Surge, right. Okay. Makes
I think
sense.
Sav dropped here.
I'll take that as tribute.
Very convenient time for us to find that one. If I hadn't nearly got the
Okay.
the silence off on the Amber there, but did not
Oh, this
actually make it.
Dawnbreaker.
Copla's trying to put
They're
some
getting
gears down.
just devoured right now. Oh boy,
PPM.
Peter destroys them.
PPM and BlueJay just going to town on this. Only
Ultra
Copla's
kill?
dies.
Alrighty. Well,
Right.
oh boy, they awaken the beast.
And he gets one.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
He asked for it, he got one. I mean, what can you say? This is, again, this is the formula for a losing game for this Riki Blinders lineup. I mean, at the end of the day, what can you say besides, if nothing else, they have the ungodly situation where they pick 3 cores that are all countered by BKB, and then they picked a jug on the other side. Like, it would have been bad enough. It would have been hard enough to win this game already with whatever. If he just picked, like, Ursa or something, that already would have been pretty bad. But he had to get jug. He had to get a guy who can hit Q and nullify literally all of your ability to operate most of your damage, in fact, because it's all the Zeus damage, it's the Abaddon Radiance, it's basically everything Dusty's gonna do to you except punch ya. You know, he's got eyes in his brain, Dusty does. Is that weird?
No, that's perfectly normal.
Oh, okay. Abaddon found a specialist array. I bet he's gonna use that. They just collectively drew some kind of arcane symbol on the map. Copeless is falling for the Meteor Hammer meme this game. Maybe the worst Meteor Hammer game ever in history. Like, if you want a game where you are legitimately never gonna hit anyone with that Meteor Hammer, it's just Jakiro. Like, you're not even gonna hit Murano with it. She doesn't even have to. She doesn't even have to BKB necessarily. She's just gonna leap.
This will provide.
You're never gonna hit anybody with it, and it's kind of unlikely you're gonna get up to towers that frequently outside of scenarios. We're just gonna kill it anyway. Ben is gonna run right for Dawnbreaker, not actually find her. Then find her, and it's too late.
Yeah, can Hammer jump over the cliff?
Ping's going out every which way.
And it's up.
I just had to
Copeless is
Radiant's middle tower is
melted.
under attack.
Very dead, yes.
Molsky finally got that revenge I was talking about. It's like I said, if Molsky is the guy who's getting bullied by Clockwork, he has nothing to do about it. If Clockwork is hitting somebody else, or if he's the one in danger, then Jakiro just kills him every time.
Dire's bottom tower
It is a miserable place to be. We're going deep in here for White Joel Birch and friends. Dusty's finally going to take a spill. So is Lich. Abaddon is at full health, but not for long. He just took a full Omni.
God.
Oof. Nope.
Alrighty.
Yeah. This feels like it's about all over but the crying. The good news is Abaddon just got the 65 damage trade.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Randy, can I admit something to you? Something I didn't want to admit before this game, but I think I
Yeah.
did on the cast last week.
Let's hear it.
Dire are scanning.
I'm really not a fan of this puzzle and Abaddon concept in general, to be honest with you. I think that's kind of a flavor of the month thing that's not going to last too long.
I don't know. I don't know the tech behind it. Or would...
I mean, the thing is, like, based on two things. Oh, we might have just dropped a few frames there, I believe. It's based on two things. It's based on getting a quick Radiance. It's based on getting a quick Manta style and using that to kind of cheese silences on people. The problem is, neither of those like do anything against a BKB to target, and neither of those things are that useful after like 30-40 minutes. If you don't win early game by a lot, he really has almost no utility in that position. And it's interesting because I think in terms of being a pause 3, he's actually very, very good at that right now. A greedier pause 3 to be sure, but if you want a greedier pause 3, if you got like a 1 or a 2 that can like give you that space, and certainly all those disadvantages seem to vanish instantly. Copless is going to get just completely shattered over here. Joel is once again just deep without ult. Mighty Midget just throws an ult in, throws his Lich ult in, but it's actually going to get the Dawnbreaker there, but that's all it's going to get. Almost a protest at this point. Joel going to go down, Zeus going to go down. Cool Darkseer wall is going to kill Mirana. Beyond godlike. Completely unkillable, yeah.
Very, very, very unkillable, yeah.
And Jug did not even show up for that fight. It's a pause 4 and a pause 3 for a 1, 2, 4, and 5. 2 for 4. The pause 1 was not even there. Ember Spirit alone did as much damage as 2 members of the Dire combined, basically. It's getting heavy. It's getting very heavy in here. Looking at the Jug down here. Not 100% sure what he expects to do, but he's gonna look at him.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Batten in trouble again. Once again, it just feels like we're just watching history repeat itself. They're gonna just shatter the Dawnbreaker here. But once again, the white Joel Birch is dead. Very casually for almost nothing.
Cheater.
Yep, looking hard there for the Darkseer. Does find him, does kill him. And Juggernaut has shown up for this. Zeus knows to hit Ghost Scepter to stop the Omni Slash, but unfortunately doesn't know that if you're alone, that's just a self troll because he's just gonna hit Q and just tear you in half anyway. 11k disadvantage here for Riki Blinders. 11k advantage for MKNY. Who are now gonna go hit that Roshan guy and show him what's what.
Pretend that never happened.
Kinda did.
Stupid. Brave. But stupid.
Quick, yeah, have PPM get the Aegis even though he hasn't been under half health. Even though he hasn't been under half health the entire game. I mean, who do you give the Aegis at this point? Like, the only actual candidate, I think, is Dawnbreaker, just on the grounds of she being the only core that's dying in fights at all. Batten's getting close to Blink Dagger! That's not even really true, he's about, like, a third of the way to Blink Dagger. Dawnbreaker got that BKB, which might solve that actually dying in fights problem that she's been having. In particular, going to mean that she's not going to necessarily fear the Curse of Avernus anymore. Joel's going to wrap bot. Does not want to try and take a fair fight right now. The rest of his team kind of does. They're going to smoke out. They think that the enemy team is going for Joel here. It's not actually true. Can we get the part where Joel just comes out of the trees here? Nope, never mind. I was gonna say Joel just comes out of the trees against the Dawnbreaker. Just they missed. They missed. It's because Copless is sick.
Yeah. She was healthy. That's a dead Dawnbreaker.
Near on the Ember Spirit.
For the dead.
As if life wasn't hard enough already. Let's see who kills the T2 faster. Consider that the Dire has a like 75% head start on this tower.
Radiant's
And they
bottom
don't get
tower
it.
is under attack.
It comes second.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower
Alright,
is under
got that tier 3.
Rainbow TP's up here top.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Joel immediately killing the healing ward. Radiant backing off because they don't care about the quality of this cast and do care about the fact that they have literally no motivation to end early at all. Aside from, like, I don't know, making sure Dark Ace isn't really sleepy for game 3 or something. Dark Ace is in the UK, right? Or am I imagining
I don't know
that?
where he lives.
What?
I don't know where he lives.
He lives somewhere.
Yeah, he definitely lives on the Earth. That's for sure.
Well... You don't know that. Could be on the ISS. It's 30 minutes and Abaddon is trading for the enemy pause 3 for net worth here. While a cool 6k under the enemy Pursuit.
Sure doesn't farm. What can you do?
He farms kills and he didn't get any this game. You're gonna get the hell out of Molsky here. Dawnbreaker died because BKB is a passive item. They just committed incorrect and oh man, they just committed incorrect and dropped the meteor hammer on BlueJay.
BlueJay is certainly dead. Peter is low and does have Aegis. Does BKB too.
Well, a lot sure went wrong in that fight because BKB is a passive item, but now PPM just going to 1v5 or what? Oh my god.
He's alive. He's really slow right now. He's dead?
You still killed Joel, but he is dead.
Oh man, the tips are coming out.
Lots of question marks.
What a nice series this is for PMA.
Yeah, everybody just having a good time playing Dota today.
Oh my god.
I mean, the downside is that really doesn't mean anything to this game. They could do that like 3 times and still not really have a victory condition at this point.
What surge is this?
The only thing that changes about that team fight is Dawnbreaker hits BKB before she dies, and like, that doesn't even come close to happening, basically. She's also really close to a pipe as well, which is, you know, life wasn't hard enough for Zeus as it is. We gotta make it a little bit worse. Darkseer has his own pipe. Fortunately for him, rather fortunately, it is Ember Spear magic damage build, so whoops. Seems to happen against this team a lot. Spoilers, if you're playing Riki Blinders, just go right-click damage on the Ember Spirit. They will never call it. They'll never see it coming.
I think you go physical with the drug on your team. I think you go what your puzzle one doesn't have.
I guess that's true. But I mean, Jug also kind of has both damage types, doesn't he? Because he's got a lot in the spin. Spins, I think maybe, especially if he gets Blade Fury DPS, it's quite a lot of damage here.
Sure, but it's his primary physical.
Sure. I mean, the downside is you went magic damage, and they have the Pipe of Insight. And it has actually had an impact on the game in a negative way. For him, personally. Just being mean to Joel at this point.
Being a bit
Gonna
meaner
lose
to
Dark
Dark
Ace
Ace.
for it, but if only they had the eye on the team again. This is almost finished with Basher at this point. Pressure Peter Slash.
So the shred is annoy Peter so much that he quits.
Yeah, there you go. I think the people on stream just heard us talking about the passive BKB. Kitty says maybe it was ping. Maybe.
It could be, yeah.
Maybe. Pipe is up on the Dawnbreaker. Bad news for any Zeus fans in the audience. Okay, they actually do get a bad in there. They get the Ember Spirit as well. I actually get pretty close to killing him, but he doesn't live.
Yeah, Ember's looking quite immortal all of a sudden.
Whew. Zeus ult there
Nice.
does
Right
not,
ult.
yeah. Does not get the job done. It's blocked by the Pipe of Insight, I believe. Or maybe got broke by,
Warrior auto-multing, so
Radiant are scanning.
it reveals them without doing any damage.
I don't know if they had actually faded on the Murano ult, but it was one of the two. Joel going for Abyssal Blade. I guess if you want to get rid of the Ember Spirit, that's one way to go about it. Dusty is literally just standing at mid, spinning in a circle.
Feed?
They better not lose this game after all this on Riki Blinders. Like, they probably are, that's the unfortunate thing, but they better not goddamn lose this game after playing like clowns all game. Ben didn't want the Cloak of Flames, what do you want instead? You know, that does stack. It's Elven tuning, okay. It does stack. Radiance and Cloak of Flames do stack with each other, for the record. Double the
Well,
burn.
it's like pick a real carry game 3 and win very easily is what's gonna happen.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing, this does not inspire the highest of hopes for the MKNY third series if that happens, because it's like, this is the clownest Riki Blinders team ever. There is a 0% chance they win this game. They're an early game lineup. They're actually closing the gap at 40 minutes. Like, if this is happening in a game that should be non-competitive, it's going to be real ugly when a game gets actually competitive. PPM versus Abaddon once again, and PPM let himself get silenced. Ding comes out on Abaddon. Gonna get Yules. Ooh, blinks out of the ice path there, but not gonna get far.
Topless,
Good,
causing
bye.
problems.
Cobble's not causing that many problems. I'm gonna buy a lot on Riki Blinders here.
Okay, yeah, Peter's here.
He was here the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about. Him being around is not
He
news.
was,
necessarily.
but it's just kind of need all 5 heroes to go on him, or else, like, if he's allowed to operate freely in a fight, it's really impossible.
Speaking of impossible, this might be the most impossible Roche to contest I've ever seen. Gonna drop that shard. Both of the people actually doing Roche have shards, and so does Yakiro. And so does Dawnbreaker. One person can possibly take this shard.
Your shrine has fallen to the radiant.
But I don't think Murano's gonna be complaining about that. Get a free bonus charge and your weird leap projectile thing. Joel just hammering creeps down here. Penta Edge Sword comes up for Ember Spirit. And alternatively Juggernaut. Whoever wants that. Maybe I'm thinking about it. Nope. Gave it a Jug. Gave it to Jug. I can't click on him. There we go. Gave it to Jug. So, Penta Edge Sword for Jug. It's not gonna be nice. Scouting Zeus ult. Very kind of random scouting Zeus ult there. I guess just trying to make sure Joel's not in danger.
Dire's
He's
bottom tower
pretty close
is
to
under
Abysmal
attack.
Blade.
Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's
Ember
middle
Spirit
tower
simply
is under
existing
attack.
is making the creep equilibrium in this game kind of a mess.
Dire's bottom
It's gonna take mid T2 for free though. So there's that.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower has
But
fallen.
T2 goes down to the Radiant.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And finished that Abyssal Blade, so any defensive efforts, he's gonna have that. Once again, they just draw the Meteor Hammer on a spinning jug.
Yeah, unfortunate.
They are without Ember Spirit on this, no matter what happens. He's not here, there's not a close wave to travels on. Oh, never mind. I guess there was a close wave.
Oh god.
Yeah, this is,
The Deso.
yep. Bad ult comes out before the Omni Slash.
Divex.
Doesn't matter.
Alright, Dawnbreaker.
Dire's bottom
Stick the dagger in.
Joel calls the G's, and we're going home.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant
Alright, well, I mean, what can I say? One good, unwinnable draft deserves another, right? It's kind of hard to see any real case where this Abaddon, Zeus, and Darkseer core trio does anything to anyone anywhere. Like I said, Ember Spirit himself already outscaled the whole team, and he did so by such a degree that at like 25 minutes he was already so far ahead of everybody he might as well have been on the moon for how close he was to the rest of these guys. Well, going to a Game 3. Might be genuinely the only Game 3 in this entire tournament so far, so see how that goes. Well, if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, you're just gonna be sitting here for a second.